Hello and welcome. Today's short presentation is entitled When and When Not to Volunteer at Work. My name is Lisa Balbus, and for the next few minutes, I'll be talking to you about how to evaluate opportunities and projects that may be offered to you in the course of your professional career. Today's presentation is sponsored by a number of organizations, including the American Institute of Physics, the American Association of Physicists in Medicine, the American Association of Physics Teachers, AVS Science and Technology, Physics Today, and Sigma Pi Sigma. So when you're offered an extracurricular professional activity, either by your supervisor, by somebody from a professional organization, by a colleague, the first thing you want to do is make sure to thank them for giving you this offer and for giving you this opportunity. You want to thank them for their confidence in your skills, because they would not have been offering this to you if they didn't think that you could do that. So make sure that you let them know that you appreciate having this offered to you. Once you've expressed your gratitude, start asking questions and make sure you understand exactly what it is they're offering and exactly what it is they would be expecting you to do if you accept. For example, if they say they want you to organize a speaker, what does that mean? Does that mean there's an existing speaker series and they just need you to find one person to come talk at an event where the date, the time, the location, the food, everything else is already arranged? Or do they want you to set up a new speaker series and go out and solicit funding, as well as a series of speakers, and find the venue and arrange all the amenities and transportation for the speakers? Those are very different projects and will require very different commitments of time. So make sure you understand what the goal is of this particular project that you're being asked to take on. Make sure you understand the timeline. How long are you committing to this? If you're being asked to serve on a committee, is this for 6 months? Is this for 3 years? And are there other things afterwards that you might be expected to do? For example, in a lot of organizations, someone who serves as secretary may be expected to then go on and serve as chair in the next rotation. So make sure that you know what exactly is going to be expected of you. Also, make sure that you know what resources have already been committed to this project. So, as we mentioned earlier, is there funding that's already been committed to this project? Are there other people that have already committed to working on it? Or would you be expected to recruit your own team and get them to join in? So make sure you really understand what it is they're expecting you to do, what they're going to provide, and what it is that you're going to have to provide. Once you really understand what they're asking you to do, you can go start looking at the metadata, or the data about the data. So just like card catalogs had data about the books in the library, you want to look at the data about this particular project or responsibility. So look into the history of this project or this type of project. What's happened to people who held this position in the past? Maybe you know some of them and you can ask them, well, how much work was this really? Who is the supervisor going to be? Is this something that was offered to you by your supervisor at work? Is this something that came from as a volunteer position with a professional society? So who is it that you're going to have as a resource when you're working on this project? And what do you know about them? What can they tell you about the project? And then think about the professional benefits or liabilities that would come with this particular project or responsibility. So in most cases, you're at least going to meet some new people, and so you'll be able to expand your professional network. You may also be able to spend more time working with some people you already know, so deepen your relationships with them and show them what a responsible, efficient person you are in your professional career. How does this particular project match your professional aspirations and your personal values? Is this advancing a cause that you're very passionate about, so you're going to be very excited about working on this project? Or is this something where you're going to be able to maybe try out a new skill and learn something that might help you in your profession in the future? What are you going to be asked to commit to this? We know you're going to be asked to commit your own time to this, but might you be expected to also commit money? For example, some positions will come with the requirement that you pay your own way to attend meetings. So make sure you know what the potential benefits are and what the liabilities are, exactly what you would be committing to. Once you really understand what the project is, what all the parameters are, what you're going to get from it, make your decision. They will probably give you a deadline by which they need an answer, so you always want to make sure to get back by then. And generally, the bigger the project, the longer time frame you'll have to think about it. But once you've made your decision, come back and communicate that to them as soon as possible. If it's a yes, say, yes, I would love to do this project, but make sure you communicate any caveats. So I'm happy to do this as long as, this is the timeline, or this is in place, or these other things that we've talked about are committed to happening. You don't necessarily always have to have them in writing, but you do want to have a clear understanding of what it is you're agreeing to do. If you decide that you're going to say, no, this is something you're not going to be able to do, you really always want to try to provide them with alternatives. So can you recommend somebody else who might be able to do this project? Can you say, no, I can't do this whole thing, but I would be happy to do this smaller piece of it? Can you offer a way that the project could be restructured or rethought so that it would be something that you could take on, or that you could take on as a co-lead with somebody else, that you would be able to do it? Okay, so try to never just say a flat no, but always give them alternatives. And then finally, commit to the project. When you agree to do it, dedicate the time and the resources that it's going to take to be successful. Even if it ends up being something that you don't like, that you don't enjoy doing, at least you've learned that you don't enjoy that kind of thing. So you will always at least learn something from the project, but you really want to try to make it successful. So once the project is over or your term of office is completed, take some time to really reflect on how it went. How did the project go? Was it successful? Was it as successful as you'd hoped? Was it as successful as it could have been? If you had to do this project over again, is there anything that you would do differently? If you have to do a similar project in the future, would you start in a different way? Were there pieces of the project that you enjoyed? Were there pieces that you found you were very good at, you did very well? Were there other pieces that maybe you found you didn't enjoy so much, or you struggled with, you had a hard time doing them and maybe had to ask for assistance or ask for other people? Use what you've learned during the course of this project to inform your decisions on future projects. If there are things that you did really well and you found you really enjoyed, maybe you want to find ways to do more of those and actually incorporate that into your paid professional career. If there are things that you've learned that you're just not good at or you just don't enjoy, maybe you're going to find ways to collaborate with other people who are good at those things and do have those strengths, so you can have successful projects in the future. Throughout your career and your professional life, you will have many, many options. Many people will offer you opportunities, projects, lots of things that you can do. So take your time, evaluate the options carefully, and decide which ones are going to match your professional aspirations, your personal values. Then accept those and put in the time and effort to make them successful, and then move on to the next one. Eventually, you will even be seeking out opportunities when you know there are things that you want to do. So use these extra volunteer opportunities as a way to expand your career and your professional network. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for listening, and good luck.